Have you ever wondered what separates those who dream from those who do? What gives someone the power to leave comfort behind, face rejection, and still stand tall? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's courage. I believe courage is the foundational trait, the spark that ignites every other virtue in your life. Without courage, ambition fades. Without courage, talent remains untapped. Without courage, potential stays buried deep within. You need courage to quit the job that's draining your soul. You need courage to speak your truth even when your voice shakes. You need courage to face rejection and not let it define your worth. Courage is not some magical gift reserved for the brave few. It's not a simple yes or no question. Do you have it or not? No. The real question is, how much courage are you willing to summon today? I didn't wake up with courage. I earned it. I earned it by walking straight into the uncomfortable, by choosing hard conversations over silence, by embracing growth instead of staying stuck. And every time, I was afraid. But I did it anyway, because real courage isn't about applause, medals, or public approval. It's about what feels right to you in the moment when everything inside you screams, run. It's about taking the step anyway. A great thinker once said, "Cowards die many times before their deaths. The brave taste death but once." It doesn't mean the brave are fearless. It means they feel the fear and move anyway. And what about the rest? So many people, right now, are letting their dreams die while they're still alive. They're burying their ideas under dust and doubt. They're silencing their voices, hiding their gifts, locking away their true selves behind the bars of fear. But you don't have to be one of them. As you look ahead, as you reach toward your fullest potential, it will require everything inside you, not just effort, but focus, not just hope, but discipline. Because this life, your life, is worth your total commitment. Ask yourself honestly, what's the cost of waiting? What do you gain by silencing your dreams? What's the benefit of holding back the best version of yourself? Too often, people wait, paralyzed, not because they don't have the talent, but because they believe failure is final. Let me tell you, it's not. Fear is a sedative. It dulls your instincts, your ambition, your fire. It chains you to the what-ifs. But you have the power to break free. You can choose to rise, even in the very place you once fell. Show me someone who has accomplished anything meaningful, and I'll show you someone who has failed. Spectacularly, painfully, repeatedly, and still chose to rise. The moment you shift your view of failure from something to avoid into something to learn from, everything changes. You're not weak, you're not behind, you're not broken, you're simply becoming. So if you want your future, don't wait, get up, try again, and this time bring all of you. So you got up, you dusted yourself off, and you said to yourself, I'm going to try again. Because something deep inside you whispered, you weren't made for fear, you were made for purpose. That whisper, that's courage speaking, and if you're brave enough to listen, it can change everything. You were not born to live in the shadows of what-ifs and regrets. You weren't created to simply survive, stuck in a cage built by doubt and fear. You were made to walk in purpose, to live with intention, and to fulfill a destiny that only you can claim. Courage, true courage, is not about pretending you're not afraid. It's the decision to move forward despite the fear. If you try to fake bravery while your hands are shaking and your heart is racing, guess what? That's real courage. Because bravery isn't about absence of fear. It's about choosing to rise in the face of it. Yes, chasing your dream will come at a cost. It might cost you comfort. It might cost you relationships. It will cost you excuses. But what you receive in return, freedom, growth, fulfillment, will be worth so much more. And courage? It's contagious. Ever notice how when one person speaks up, others find their voice too? That's why the people around you matter more than you think. You need to be surrounded by those who push you toward your highest potential, those who dare, who dream, who do, not cowards who drown in conformity, not naysayers who mock from the sidelines. There are many ways to break free from the lifeless script that society tries to hand you. But the first step is always the same. Do you have the courage to change? Ask yourself, can you act on your calling? Can you stay disciplined when it gets hard? Can you keep going when it feels like nothing is working? What would your life look like if you finally chose courage over comfort? What could you become if you stopped waiting for permission and started living the truth that's been burning inside you? Here's something powerful most people forget. The word courage comes from the French word cœur, meaning heart. So when we say live courageously, what we're really saying is live with your whole heart. But most people, they never take that chance. They stay still. They cling to the familiar. They're afraid of being tossed around by the wild winds of life's uncertainty. But you're not most people. You are capable of choosing a different path. You can choose the courage to love yourself completely, to show up as you are, unapologetically, to chase the vision that keeps you up at night, to keep giving, even when you're tired, to keep believing, even when it hurts, to keep pushing, even when it's easier to quit. And when doubt whispers, "Who are you to do this?" you answer, "I'm the one in the arena." Not the critic in the crowd, not the bystander pointing fingers, but the one covered in dust, sweat, and scars, because you showed up, you tried, you dared greatly. That's who you are. So please, stop silencing your own heart. Start listening to it, because you already know the truth. You can feel it, and the more you pay attention to that quiet voice inside, the more you'll see. It was never lying to you. If something deep within you is telling you this life isn't working, that you're meant for something more, don't ignore it. Don't argue against it. Don't let your inner critic build a case against your dream. Don't let the voice of fear drown out the call of destiny, because the only thing separating you from the life you want is the courage to start living it. You've heard that inner voice calling you towards something greater. Maybe you ignored it before. Maybe you let fear or doubt drown it out. But now, it's time to start listening, deeply, clearly, without judgment. Don't measure your future by your present conditions. Don't limit your potential based on what your bank account says, or what your past looks like, or where you come from. Where you are right now, this moment, is not your identity. It's just a snapshot, a temporary scene in a much larger story. And your story, it's still being written. Your possibilities are not confined by your circumstances. They are only confined by your belief. Are you in a rebuilding phase? Good. That means you're laying the foundation for something better. Have you been through heartbreak, failure, devastation? That's not the end. That's the beginning of your comeback. Because the truth is this: the human spirit is limitless. No amount of failure, no number of losses, no depth of setbacks can erase what you are capable of becoming. In fact, every mistake you've made, every loss you've suffered, those weren't failures. They were investments. lessons purchased with pain, wisdom carved from experience. And once you start trusting that voice inside, once you start acting on that dream that's been pulling at your heart, everything starts to shift. Suddenly, opportunities show up. People come into your life seemingly out of nowhere. Conversations open doors. Ideas begin to spark. You'll find yourself saying, "Where did that come from?" And that's the power of focus. When you direct your energy, your attention towards something meaningful, it begins to multiply. It grows. It expands. And before you know it, you've developed a new mindset, a deeper clarity, a stronger version of yourself. That's where your greatness lives. Not in ease, not in perfection, but in the pursuit. The pursuit creates passion. The pursuit reveals your commitment. The pursuit awakens powers in you that you never knew existed, because you've never truly called on them. But now is the time. Push yourself into situations where you can't back out, where you can't hit undo. Put yourself in positions where it's do or die, sink or swim, and watch what happens. You'll discover that when there's no room to run, your creativity rises, your courage sharpens, and your ability to adapt and fight, it will shock you. They say desperation is a powerful teacher, but it's also an artist. It will draw out strength, vision, and fire you didn't know you had. Because sometimes you won't know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. And at the end of the day, all you can do is all you can do. But hear this: if you give it everything, if you truly do all that you can, that's enough. So today, look ahead. Look at your relationships, your career, your health, your spirit, and decide. From this day forward, I will give everything I've got to grow into the person I'm meant to be. Because your gifts are not just for you, they're meant to be shared. You were born to contribute, to create, to shine. And that requires effort. That requires belief. That requires courage. Is it hard? Absolutely. Is it worth it? More than you know. You may have failed before, in the gym, in your finances, in your studies, in relationships. But so what? That was then. Right now, I need you to stand up, brush it off, and try again, because your greatness is still waiting. If this message stirred something in you, if you felt a spark, no matter how small, then don't let it fade. Let today be the start of your rise. Like this video if it lit a fire inside you. Subscribe to Motivation Hub Rise to fuel your journey every single day. And share this with someone who needs a reminder that their greatness isn't gone. It's just waiting to be claimed. This is your time. Rise with us.